A hospital room in New York, machines beeping, steady, then slowing. A man stands over the bed of the woman he loves, holding her hand like he already knows, this is the last time he ever will. He leans in close. He tells her he loves her. And then he says the words no husband ever wants to say out loud, that she isn't coming back from this. That man was Liam Neeson. Just 2 days earlier, his wife, actress Natasha Richardson, had been laughing on a ski slope in Canada. Taking a beginner's lesson, having the time of her life. A small fall. A bump on the head. Nothing that seemed serious. She brushed it off so completely, she signed a form refusing medical help. But what happened next changed everything. Hidden behind that small fall was a silent injury growing inside her skull, one no one could see, one doctors wouldn't catch in time. Within 48 hours, the woman Liam Neeson married, the mother of his 2 sons, the partner who stood beside him through every triumph of his career, was gone. The world knew Liam Neeson as the unbreakable one. The man who always finds his daughter. Always wins the fight. Always survives. But behind the camera, he was living through the one battle he could never win. This is the real story of how a boxer's son from a small town in Northern Ireland became one of the most beloved leading men in Hollywood, and how one phone call in 2009 nearly broke everything he had built. Liam Neeson didn't grow up anywhere near fame. He grew up in Ballymena, a small town in Northern Ireland, the only boy among 4 children. Money was tight. Life was simple. And the world around him was anything but gentle. Northern Ireland in the 60s and 70s was a place of tension, division, fear. A backdrop that would quietly shape the man he became. As a boy, he laced up boxing gloves at the local youth club. He won regional titles. For a while, it looked like the ring would be his future. But something else pulled at him harder, the stage. He studied physics in university, but acting kept calling him back. He joined a small theatre company in Belfast, learning his craft the hard way, performing for modest crowds with no guarantee anyone outside that city would ever know his name. Then he made the leap that changes everything, first to London, then to America, chasing a dream that felt almost impossible for a boxer's son from Ballymena. Hollywood noticed him slowly, then all at once. And then came the role that would define him forever. Oscar Schindler, in Steven Spielberg's Schindler's List. The performance was raw, restrained, devastating. It placed him instantly among the most respected actors of his generation. To the world, Liam Neeson looked like a man who had it all. And in 1993, on a Broadway stage, he met the woman who would change his life completely, actress Natasha Richardson. They married. They had 2 sons. From the outside, it looked like a fairy tale built on talent, love, and quiet Irish charm. But fame is rarely as simple as it looks from the outside. And for Liam Neeson, the story was only just beginning. At home, his life with Natasha seemed steady. They built a home together upstate. They raised their boys, Michael and Daniel, as far from the chaos of Hollywood as they could manage. When a tabloid once falsely claimed their marriage was falling apart, they fought back in court, and won. Proof of just how fiercely they protected the life no one else got to see. But professionally, something was shifting beneath the surface. Neeson was approaching 50. An age where leading men quietly fade from the spotlight, pushed aside for younger faces. He had built his name on quiet, dignified drama. But Hollywood was changing fast around him. Then, in 2008, everything shifted in a direction nobody expected. He was offered the lead in a brutal, fast-moving action film called Taken. The story of a father tearing through Europe to save his kidnapped daughter. An unusual choice for a Shakespearean-trained actor known for restraint. The news shook Hollywood to its core. Broadway dimmed its lights that night in her honor. The West End in London did the same. Tributes poured in from around the world, but none of it could soften the silence waiting for him when the cameras turned away, and he was left alone with his sons. And that's when everything started to feel impossibly heavy. For a man who had spent his career playing characters who refused to break, this was the moment that truly tested him. Those who worked with him in the months after noticed a change. A heaviness that hadn't been there before. He didn't disappear from the public eye entirely, but something in him had shifted. Then he did something almost nobody expected. He went back to work. He kept building the very action hero identity Taken had just handed him, throwing himself into one physically demanding role after another, almost as if motion itself was the only thing keeping him standing. But was it healing? Or was it running? That question would follow him for years. In the years that followed, Liam Neeson became one of the most consistent action stars in the world. Taken 2. Taken 3. Unknown. Non-stop. The Grey. Film after film, he kept moving, kept fighting, kept surviving on screen, while off-screen, he quietly raised 2 teenage sons without their mother. He rarely spoke about Natasha. For years, his grief stayed locked away, guarded, only surfacing in glimpses when someone dared to ask. Then, in a major television interview years later, he finally opened up, revealing the most painful truth of those final hospital moments. That he had told her he loved her. And that he had been the one to gently tell her she wasn't going to make it. It was a side of him audiences had never seen before. The unbreakable hero. Reduced to his most human, most fragile moment. But the truth behind this was even more surprising than anyone expected. Neeson didn't just survive the loss. He used the same discipline that powered every action role, to keep functioning for his sons. He said since that he believes Natasha would have been proud, not embarrassed, of the unexpected stardom that followed her death. For nearly 2 decades, he didn't seriously date again. One relationship, shortly after losing her, then nothing. He stepped back from romance almost entirely, pouring everything into his sons and his work. But what happened next changed everything people thought they knew about this part of his life. Now in his 70s, Liam Neeson is still one of the busiest actors in Hollywood. Still doing his own stunts. Still headlining films, decades after most leading men would have quietly stepped aside. And then, in 2025, something unexpected happened. While filming a new comedy, he found a genuine, surprising connection with his co-star, Pamela Anderson. Both have described the bond as sincere, warm, a quiet, late-in-life surprise neither one saw coming. Liam Neeson never stopped carrying Natasha Richardson with him. He said simply that he believes she'd be proud of the man, and the father, he became. After everything, the loss, the grief, the years spent throwing himself into his work just to keep standing. Liam Neeson is still here. Still working. Still, quietly, healing. So tell us, do you think turning his grief into work helped Liam Neeson heal, or was it his way of running from the pain he never let the world see? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if this story moved you, hit subscribe, because the real stories behind Hollywood's biggest stars are never as simple as they look.